According to a study in 2022, 88% of all millionaires own their own business. And in a more recent study, 36% of American adults earn extra money from a side hustle. So it stands to reason that one of the best ways to become a millionaire is by starting a side hustle and building up your own business. And if that's something that you're interested in, then you'll want a resource to guide you through every step of the process. Me personally, I've always had side hustles to earn extra income, and it helped me to retire a multimillionaire at the age of 46. And along the way, I've started a few different companies to truly boost my net worth, and there's a good chance that it's part of your American dream of owning your own business too. The problem is, there are so many steps and requirements in setting up a business. A few questions you may have in setting up a business could be something like, what is a limited liability company or an LLC? Do you even need an LLC to operate your business? And what are the steps needed in setting up an LLC? And of course, what are the state and the federal requirements in setting up this business? So let's begin by answering why you'd want a limited liability company or an LLC to begin with. Well, for starters, you don't even need an LLC to allow for write-offs for your business or any tax purposes. However, the whole point in having an LLC is to separate your personal assets from your business liabilities to minimize your risk. So if your business was under an LLC and if any major catastrophe happened to the business, then it creates a bit of a buffer or a wall between your personal assets and your business liabilities, and it offers you a little bit of protection. In addition, having a business name with an LLC tied to it, it does give you a little bit more credibility and a bit more professionalism. That, and it protects you from other people trying to take your business name within your state. Now look, I get it. It seems a little bit scary because you don't know what you don't know. That's why I'll be covering the top 3 steps to setting up your business. And I'll be showcasing those steps via today's sponsor, Tailor Brands, as I review their site and I walk through the resources that are available to make setting up a business as smooth as possible. And the 3 main steps that I plan to cover are setting up your LLC or limited liability company with the state. Then there's choosing your business name, appointing a registered agent, setting up an operating agreement, and all other state requirements specific to your state. And that could entail annual reports or tax registration. Then the second main point is obtaining an EIN or employer identification number for the federal requirements of an LLC. And the third main step is to separate your business finances from your personal finances. Now, I realize that some of that may sound very foreign to you, but that's the whole point of leveraging a site like Tailor Brands, because they have a dashboard that walks you through these steps to keep you on track. And they also have a repository of articles and information to help you out as well. But to make it even easier, I'll walk through the entire process, and you'll quickly notice that it has a ton of extras, like setting up a domain name and a website for your business, if that's something that you're interested in. They also offer digital business cards, invoicing and bookkeeping services, and even a business email. And in my opinion, that's where the value of their services truly come into play, because finding all of these resources individually, well, they could take you hours. On top of that, you'll need different logins and passwords for all those other sites, making your life much harder than it truly needs to be. Any site or service that reduces my workload and friction, then I'm all for it. And when you're first getting started, you need all the help that you can get. Let's get started on the Tailor Brands site, and I'll have a link in the description if you want to follow along. You may be at different stages of your business, so I'm going to create chapters that allow you to skip around to what is most relevant to you. But for now, I'm going to assume that you're starting off from scratch, and you're going to start with entering a name and then go through the whole process of setting up an LLC, the EIN, everything that Tailor Brands is going to walk us through and guide us through the process. So with that, we'll get started. To begin with, I'm going to start off with my business and call it Brian's Brewery. We're going to see how it walks us through each stage of this process. All right, personal guide. It gives me a long list of things of what do I want to start off with my focus. Well, I need to get an LLC. I probably need to get a logo, sales tax permit, any licenses and permits. I don't know if I need it or not. A website and a domain, and then probably taxes and accounting and my EIN, which I had spoken to earlier. So let's go ahead and hit next. All right, since it's a brewery, I'm going to be selling physical goods, so we'll click on that, and it's going to be brick and mortar. And my business is going to be probably food and beverage. I'm not going to write anything more because I don't feel like it. What stages am I at? Right now, I'm just an idea. And I'm expecting to launch, well, I'll probably launch in a few months because I'm just starting this now. Now, I like that it has this list of, hey, what do you already have? So it doesn't duplicate anything that you've already got covered. So with this, I'm not going to mark anything because I am just an idea for right now. And it's pretty obvious I discovered this watching my channel on YouTube. So based on my original choices, it's giving me these 8 steps that I should focus on in creating my brewery. All right, why don't we just walk through these 8 steps and see how it goes? Okay, I'm starting off by choosing a logo, and with that, I'm either looking at an icon, just a name-based, or initial-based, and I think I should probably go with an icon to draw a little bit more attention. And I'll search. I'm going to search under hops just to keep it really quick and simple. I'm going to find a symbol that I like. Oh, I can pick a few. To choose 3 styles, I'll go with masculine, childish, and tall. And it came up with several different logos that I could choose from, and I'm going to pick it real clean and simple. I'll go with this one where it has the hops and then also just has Brian's Brewery. Easy peasy, we'll just keep moving on. All right, I'm just going to say I love it, and I'm finished. So now that I've created my logo, it gives me this dashboard of what I need to accomplish based on my original recommendations or suggestions. And I'm going to go directly with setting up an LLC from this point. And the first thing that I need to do is select the state for which I'm operating. And I'm just going to pick a random state, and I'm going to say Iowa. And I'm going to choose my name, and I'm going to say Brian's Brewery. So Brian's Brewery. Let's try it again. It's great. It looks like that name hasn't already been selected by another business, so I can move forward with whatever steps come next. So it looks like they do have a free 12-week coaching program that you can select for free. I'm going to skip it for right now. I'm just going to move on. Straight from there, we're changing gears, and it's directly guiding me to set up my EIN, which is required in setting up with the federal side of your LLC. So it's guiding me to do that right now. And I have a choice. I can handle it myself, or I can get help in setting it up, and I'm going to choose the help. The next step is still part of the LLC, and it's asking, who do you want for your registered agent? And I will tell you, typically you don't want to select yourself as a registered agent because you're going to be getting a ton of spam mail sent to your house if you do select yourself. Now, it's different requirements in different states. Apparently in Iowa, you do have to have a registered agent, and you can choose Tailor Brands and they charge you a fee. It shows right here, or you can appoint a different registered agent. I'm just going to choose Tailor Brands to keep moving forward. And the next question, it's asked me, do I want to be in good standing status with Iowa for your annual compliance? Yes, I do. And it looks like there's a fee associated with that, or I can handle my own compliance. And I'm just, in this case, going to say I will do my annual reviews and everything required with it. Do your homework and make sure what you're selecting. Yeah, on second thought, I'm just going to let them do it for this example. Okay, now part of the filing process, it gives you the option to get an expedited filing time, which comes with a fee, or I can just take the normal 2 weeks. I will select the normal 2 weeks because I'm in no rush. The next step is asking you to set up an operating agreement, which I highly recommend any LLC have. In fact, it's a requirement for many states. So it does it here for a fee once again, or you can choose to find another source to do that. I'm just going to let them do it for me because it's really going to save me time. Now it's asking me if I want Facebook and Instagram ads. I'm not interested right now. The next step is asking me if I want a formal formation kit to store receipts, keep your LLC organized. I don't know if I need that or not, so I'm just going to move forward. The next step is asking me if I want to get notifications for being compliant. Since I don't know what I don't know, I'm going to choose to get notified until I at least get my feet wet and understand what's going on. All right, now it brings us to the fees associated with the services that are being offered here on Tailor Brands. So it looks like there is a light version for no money down, and it allows you to set up your LLC with no fees from them, being Tailor Brands. But of course, you have to pay all the state fees on your own, which you you would have to do regardless of where you got your LLC. It looks like the next is the Essential at $199, and then there's the Elite, which is $250, and it looks like they have quite a bit of different items. So as a quick glance, when I look at the Essential plan, it does look like it comes with certain things like annual compliance report and filing, establishing your operational agreement. So it looks like it includes some of those add-ons as just part of that plan. And then the Elite is the same scenario where it just includes a little bit more of those bundling. So the branding tools. So this comes with a free domain, a website, some logos, business cards, social media maker, business card tools. So clearly look at that at your own leisure to kind of see what the benefits are from all the different options. I'm going to select the free one just so I can move forward. As you can see, the process of setting up the LLC wasn't that difficult. However, knowing what you should include and what you shouldn't as far as the registered agent and some of the operating agreements, they can take care of that for you if you want them to, which that's the whole point. I've already done my logo and my LLC. Let's finalize whatever might be required on the EIN. So I can look on the dashboard, look on the far side. I'm going to click on it and it says get your EIN within 48 hours. So I have my business name. I'll select yes. And my business is going to be an LLC. And where did I get my LLC? I said it was Iowa. So that's essentially the whole process of setting up the AIN on here because it's already got your other information from setting up the LLC. Pretty quick and easy, but like most of this, these are things that you can either set up on your own or use them as a service. Your choice. This next part, I'm going to shift gears and I've already got my LLC, my logo, and my EIN. Now I want to set up my own website. But before I can set up a website, I need to get a domain name. And the domain name is my www.briansbrewery. And I have to have that before I can set up my website because the website has to go to an address. So let's get that domain. And like everything else, it brings me to a spot where I can enter the information to quickly search and see what's available. So let's type in Brian's Brewery. And it's available. So I can go ahead and I can select briansbrewery.com. So then it brings me up to the page as far as how much the domain would cost. So it looks like it's $12.49 a year, has a 2-year offer, which gives you a little bit of a savings. And then it has this domain privacy, which it looks like it hides your domain registration details from the public. I don't care if anyone sees my information. And from here, I can simply pay the fee to obtain my domain name. Let's say I went ahead and already did that. From here, I can go ahead and I can click on Tailor Brands logo in the upper left, and that's going to bring me back to the dashboard at the very beginning. Well, now that I have my domain, we can move forward and click on a website. So let's get started with that. When it brings me to the website portion, it gives me 2 options. One, I can get started on my own, or I could hire a designer to do it for me. If I'm super scrappy and I've got a lot of time, I'd absolutely try doing it myself. But if I'm short on time and I just really want it really clean and finished already, I would hire a designer. Let's go ahead and see how much that costs. So I need to start by putting in my industry. I'm going to say beverage. I don't have an online store. I just want a business website. Tell people about my business. Go ahead and click next. What would you like to have on your website? Like to describe about who we are, social links, contact page, gallery. So before actually selecting one, I can see that the silver, one of the big differences, it only includes a 1-page website. The gold has 3 pages and the diamond has 6 pages plus a blog section. And I don't know how many pages I would need. So that's one thing where you definitely want to think through how many pages you're going to want before selecting this particular package. Now, what if instead of hiring a designer, I went ahead and I tried to do some of it myself for creating a web page? And like most plans out there, you're going to have your basic, and then the standard that includes everything from the basic plus a few other items. Like it looks like vector EPS files for your logo, business card tools, printed business deck, and the same with premium. It includes everything as the other 2. Plus, it allows you to create an online store, accept online payments. So let's go ahead and just choose that. So unfortunately, I can't walk you through what the process of setting up the web page would look like because I have to pay the fee prior to actually doing that part of the process. So I can't go any further on that, but it looks like it has tools available so you can create your own website. How easy or difficult that is, I don't know. This next step, we are going to go into legal documents. I don't know what is going to be in there, so let's find out together. So it brings me to this page where it says get access or view documents. So if I were to go ahead, it looks like they're templates that you can download, all of them all at once or individually. So if I purchase all, it looks like it is $119 should I want to download each of these and then customize them with unlimited online access. I don't know if that is worth it to each of you. Depends on your business, depends on what legal documents you may need. But a lot of times, I'm sure the need is going to present itself, but at least now you know the resources there. Let's go ahead and go back to the main page. Now in this next section, let's go ahead and look at the licenses and permits because I don't know what a brewery might need for that. All right, it says 80% of businesses are required to have licenses and permits to operate legally, and I wouldn't know what any of those would be for this. So let's find out. So once I confirm my business industry, so I'll go ahead and select that. Okay, it's asked me a lot of questions throughout this process to kind of fine tune what type of business I am and what those requirements may be. So I might skip ahead a little bit. Otherwise, you can just see it in high speed. Yeah, I serve alcoholic beverages and I'm going to serve food. Okay, I requires my brewery to have 11 different licenses and permits, 8 for the state and 3 federal. I would definitely want any and all help that I could. So this would probably be worth every penny of that $99 because otherwise I don't know what I would need or how to research all of it. So this is probably worth its weight in gold, just knowing what licenses and permits I would need to set up. So in my opinion, this is a huge help. I've done most of the key items as far as setting up the LLC and the EIN, but what if I want somebody to do my bookkeeping for me? And on the left, it has a section called Taxes and Accounting. And then it brings us to this page so that we can get started, or we can review my taxes, or we can have a consultation with a tax professional. I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So after answering the questions, that brings us to the end where it gives us the options of the package we want to buy. So it has, do you want to have someone file your federal taxes for your business, federal and state, or you can do federal, state, and your personal. Because depending on how you have your business set up, you may need one set of tax documents for your business and one for your personal life, which is how I have my business set up. Prior to having a business, doing my own taxes was always super easy. But the moment you get an LLC, there's just so much more involved that once again, you don't know what you don't know. So having a professional do it, whether you pick your own resource or just using the one that's readily available here, it's worth pursuing. So do your research. This is highly valuable in my opinion. Now, something that is extremely important that I talked about, the whole point of having an LLC is to separate your personal and your business finances. One of the things you need in doing that is having your own business bank account. So they do have a resource right here on the left-hand side. So it has business banking. And in clicking it, it brings us to this page where we can request a callback, and it would have someone from Bank of America reach out to us and look at setting up our own business bank account. Now, you do need to have your LLC and your EIN, which is says you have to have your EIN first. And it does kind of list some basic information that you could also research a little bit further. So at least sets the process to get you started. Finding business bank accounts can be very challenging. So you can clearly get this started right here, have the call, find out if it makes sense for you. And it's just the first steps. But once again, I highly recommend that you have a business bank account to completely separate from your personal finances. And with that business bank account, you do need to have a separate credit card or a debit card so that you can use that specific for your business. Let's say you do have your bank account set up and you need people to pay you. You need to be able to create invoices to do that. Now, your bank may be able to do that, but they can't do bookkeeping. So they do have a section here called Invoices and Bookkeeping. And when it drops you to this page, clearly it has the try for free section, but it kind of lists why you would want this bolt-on finance manager software. So one, it looks like it's helping you to get paid fast, making every tax deduction count, being compliant with the IRS, because when you do file your taxes, you're going to want your paperwork in order. And that's the whole point of having bookkeeping software, which they do tend to come with a fee. So let's find out what that is. So it looks like this bookkeeping service is charging $30 a month, which is cheaper than what I'm getting for the service I'm getting from a different area. So I'm actually kind of interested to learn more about what this service is like. So I may do some deep diving on my own separately just to find out what that entails. So I'm just scrolling down, and it looks like with this finance manager, it does show you different reporting of what your profit and loss statements would look like, but also you can create your own invoices so that you can get paid from people. So it looks like it allows you to connect your bank and do ACH transfers. There's the P&L statement right there, your costs and services of your goods sold. So it really does all of that managing for you, which is highly required, especially when you do your taxes, because your accountant isn't going to do that for you when you begin to file your taxes. They want it all prepped and ready to go. Now, because my business is selling a product, I'm going to probably need a sales tax permit. And of course, they have a link to that on the left-hand side. So let's click on it. And then it brings us to this page where you can go directly into getting your sales tax permit. And of course, like everything else, it's going to ask you a bunch of questions to find out even if you need it. And if you do, for your particular state, you can get the permit for $299 in any state. And it kind of walks through it. It's going to ask you the questions. Based on your answers, it's going to tell you whether or not you need that permit. And then they'll go ahead and take on the process and submit it and get it sent to you. This literally covers every aspect of what you should be doing as a minimum for setting up your business as an LLC. Tailor Brands is a one-stop shop to definitely make your life a lot easier. And even if you don't choose the add-on services, it's at least a great reminder of the items that you may need for your business. And then, of course, there is that peace of mind of having a site like this to ensure that you're at least staying compliant for all of your state requirements. And don't forget that they also have the option of setting up your LLC at no additional cost other than the state fees. Feel free to check out Tailor Brands down in the description to help set up your LLC today.